Yo everyone, this is Julie and we're back with more Mage Wars. Today I'm playing Reddice, who is playing a priest, and I'm playing my pet Tegu book. It's called TeguTank because I have the Emerald Tegu and I will want to make him my pet and give him some more sustain, and the whole book is basically centered around the Tegu. But I have also some more utility spells for the Beastmas. I have some attack spells. I want to use the Elephant Grass. And I have some curses for more offense. I have some buffs for my guys. And let's go. Let's see what Reddice tries to do in order to counter this. So with this book, I'm pretty brave at the start in most times, because I double move into lair. That doesn't give my mage too much of a defense, and if my opponent does something offensive, I usually need to back off right in turn 2 from the original plan, let's say, and get some more defense going on my mage. Versus holy mages in general with this book, or with this book in particular, but also whenever you have the chance, there is something really good, I would say, you could do, and that is get out your Dorsius. That is a little bit easier for Beastmaster because they have a lair and they can throw it out of the lair, and this is exactly what I'm gonna do. So before I will get out my pet Tegu, I will go for Dorsius, because if I have the horse, he can't have the horse. And the best defense against the Dorsius is playing your own Dorsius, because it's legendary and then your opponent can have it. That gets me down to 0 mana, basically. Okay, I have 1, but this is not enough to use both actions. So you could go with Ritual, but I don't need 3 mana that badly, and I also don't want to get any closer to the opponent in most cases, so this is why I'm using a Remove Curse here. Also, I do not plan on doing this opening where I need to boost my mana generation that often anyways, so I've had Ritual in this book in the past, but I've seen myself not using it. And since for the Beastmaster, Ritual and Remove Curse is both 2 spellbook points, I chose to go with Remove Curse here. I just like it better in this book. Since if you don't target a curse, you just gain plain 2 mana for casting it, and then you discard it. So we see for Reddice in the second turn an attack with Artemis. On the horse, we see a Siren Ropes, and we see... I'm not too sure what else he did last turn. But I went with the Remove Curse and then Hidden Enchant on Dorsius, which is a Gated Toughness. I like Gated Toughness on the horse. And then in turn 3, I just go ahead and drop the Pet Tegu. Aligns perfectly mana-wise, going down to 0, and then I do the remove Curse plus Enchant thing again. And Artemis targets Dorsius yet again. So far this is all perfectly fine with me. Dorsius tanks the hits like a boss, and will regenerate anyways. Now we see the Holy Avenger, Messenger of Bimshala. Can't heal anything because my Dorsius didn't punch something. I just thought that maybe there is more follow-up aggression on the Dorsius, and then I just like to have him back more and guarding, because if the Dorsius stays in this zone here with the Tegu, with the lair, I have way more defensive options. So for example, I could drop an Elephant Grass in this zone, which is good to have grass cover your lair, because first of all it protects your animals, and second, If your opponent wants to play a consecrated ground into your lair zone, which many people do, it gets way more expensive. This is also the reason why you have double grass, because then you can play first grass, you get covered with a consecrated ground, you can grass up again. And what's also possible, I could just walk in with Pack Leader's Cowl and drop a guard on the Tegu to protect the horse. So while staying back and guarding, this gives me way more defensive options, and this is why it's a defensive move. So for Reddice, last round turn 3, we see the Avenger Messenger and an enchantment on Artemis, and now we see a hidden enchantment on the horse and a hit for 3 crits on Dorsius. In this turn I have a fake deploy on my lair, and I have Pack Leader's Cowl and Regrowth. I like having some armor on my mage, because going naked is never a good idea, especially you don't want to get Wall of Thorned. So at least 1 point of armor is good, and if you have the Pack Leader's Cowl, I can get my pet Tegu to guard for only 2 mana, because it's level 2, but it's arguably a level 3 creature, sorry. So this is a very good value if you can Pack Leader's Cowl guard your pet. And I also usually like to use Joint Strength on either the Tegu or the Dorsius, whoever gets targeted more, most cases, and that transfers damage on my mage. So this is why I also value Regrowth on my mage, on my Beastmasters very highly, because then I split the damage and can stay at 0. So we see here some damage dealt left and right. So Tegu and horse attack the priest, and a potential move from me here was to quick cast the Pack Leader's Cowl, double move and guard with the Tegu. That was for the case that my horse would have been targeted more, so that, in case I wanted to protect the Dorsius. So since Dorsius is not in too much danger, I go with the value play more line, what is getting both spell actions. Because this Beastmaster is very tight on actions, you usually want to really connect your actions. And whenever one of your actions gets dispelled or disabled from your opponent, that's usually quite bad for you. So Dorsius and Pet Tegu is a disgusting combination, because they both heal a lot. I probably should get it going something like this. I even have the Iguana Regrowth on the Pet Tegu. Iguana Regrowth is an interesting alternative to the regular Regrowth, because it gives your creature +2 life and regen 1 compared to plain regen 2. And the way I look at it is, if the creature only regens 1 turn with this thing, you get basically a life plus of 3 with the Iguana Regrowth, while you get a life plus of 2 with the regular Regrowth. If the creature regens for 2 turns, you get life plus 4/4, and only if the creature regens for 3 or more turns, the regular Regrowth is better health-wise compared to the Iguana Regrowth. What is also an additional mention is that if you connect the Regrowth options on a level 3 creature, you pay the same. If you target a level 4 or higher creature, Iguana is more expensive, and if you target a level 2 or even a level 1 creature, Iguana is cheaper. So for me, my personal preference is level 2 and 1 creatures, Iguana, and level 3 and up in most cases is the regular Regrowth. So for this case, I plan on getting out Alluring Orchid, because the Messenger of Bim Chala has to attack into the Orchid. She only rolls 2 dice. only herself alone should take her forever to get through the Orchid, because on average she deals 2 damage and the Orchid regens 1, so that would need like 5 turns to get through it. And I have the joint strength, which goes on either the Tegu or the horse, but I get blocked by a wall, so I need to double move and get only 1 action out. I just mentioned in the turn before, if you get blocked, if your 1 action that you have planned gets denied, that's usually bad for you. But right here, in this situation, we're trading a wall versus a double move, because that wall does not do too much besides of me forcing me to double move, and it denies me the cowl, arguably. So I am now covering a lot of thoughts or general information about the game, not too much what's happening in this game here. We see red dice targeting the horse. If you're interested in how much damage each and every attack deals, I have the chat window here on the left. Maybe you need to pause it. I'm not sure. I'm just trying out this way of commentating now, not examining every little dice roll. I will mention here that red dice paid for the burn on the Dorseus, and also that the messenger got a big hit on the Orchid. Max damage. So this is something I do not want to see. Everything else, like a big hit on the horse and the burn staying, is not super good for me, but I also get the chance to reveal my gator, so the horse is not at 0. This is usually something you do want to do when you're playing against Dorseus, get his armor to 0. Usually rust is a very good investment. And this is also something you want to do when you're playing Dorseus yourself. Make sure that he does not get to 0 armor. So here I can decide whether I want to throw a heal spell on Dorseus, or if I want to dispel the rust, or if I want to do something else. And here I choose to go with Brace Yourself, because that gives me the option to save the Dorseus if he doesn't invest too much into killing him, and it also gives me enough mana to gain more threats. So this allows me to go with Isimbilla and bees at the same time while protecting Dorseus. Other options would not have been as good for me mana wise. So we see Artemis targeting something other than these two, because she can not hit into her own zone, only range 1 or 2. So she hits the Isimbilla, which was arguably the best target, because both the Lair and the Beastmaster with armor and probably regeneration, he doesn't know this, is a very bad target. So Isimbilla was by far the best target. I choose to move away from this zone here. I also want to gain some distance to the messenger, because she can hit for 4 dice, piercing 1 if I hit something with the horse. And I want to basically draw the fight close to me, so that if I drop the bees this turn, that they have a target in the next turn in one of these 2 zones. If I would have if I did just stay over there, then my bees probably couldn't do anything in the next turn. And yeah, we see red dice going with the staff and rolling 4 dice versus the horse, so 4 plus 1, 5, minus 1 for the Aegis, dealing only 1 damage. This was very unfortunate. My horse hits back for max damage, while his messenger gets another big roll against the Orchid. So while I am rolling well against his mage, he's doing a good job of freeing his messenger. And yes, that's it for this turn. My pet Tegu tries to kill off the Artemis, because I see that it is a major threat for me, because one, it's a level 4 creature, it can hit for 4 or 5 dice depending on what he does, and also he has put 2 enchantments on him. Sorry Artemis. So there are 2 enchantments on the Artemis, and whenever you can get rid of a level 4 creature with 2 enchantments, you should do so. There's a Gator Toughness, so this is not... she's not 2 health away from dying, but 4. So for this turn, I am withering my chance to keep the Dorsius alive. So what I'm planning on doing here is I want to quick cast the Elephant Grass now, because Elephant Grass makes it so that whenever animal creatures in this zone are attacked, you roll 2 less dice, and this stacks with the Aegis. So Dorsius has basically Aegis 3, Regen 2, and 1+4 armor. This is just insane. It's super hard to kill a horse here. The horse. We see the automation not recognizing the Elephant Grass, and red rolls 3. It's just 1 dice though, so the horse doesn't take damage here. Also, it gives me the option to run with Isimbilla into the grass, and whatever the messenger does here, because he's not forced to attack the orchid, doesn't hurt my Isimbilla too much. He could get teleported, pushed somewhere, and then hit Isimbilla for big damage. So I really wanted to go with the grass here. So because of lack of targets, the messenger decides to go for the Tegu, who was the target for the joint strength. And the Tegu goes ahead and tries his luck with Artemis. He's rolling 3 damage and a rot, so it's not yet dead, but if there is no source of healing on the Artemis or of additional life gain, that's it. While my horse attacks Mr. Red Dice once more, and we now see the concede. This is it. I managed to kill off a big investment very early while I could keep my threats alive. We'll have, if this Hail of Stones connects this turn, that means that the priest cannot use his quick cast, so he can either kill off the bees, which is not too bad for me, or he can target this zone. Then he will roll 4 damage against 1 armor and the Regen 2. He will roll 1 die of damage versus the horse and 2 versus Isimbilla. Horse will heal 2, Isimbilla will heal 2. And it's looking quite grim for the priest here, because he's already at 18 points of damage. So there is no good choices left for Red Dice here. He concedes. That wraps up this game. I'm experimenting a little bit with formats lately. So I've tried ×5 commentary. Now I'm trying to explain more choices and less dice rolls or damage rolls. Please let me know how you like this format. Thank you for watching. Julie out, stay hydrated.